All right, now it's time to check in with Keith Bilbrey and find out what you have been sending our way in the form of a little question to my2cents@tbn.tv at our mailbox. Keith, what you got this week?
Oh, we've got some good ones. First of all, John from Sarasota, Florida. Thank you for the engaging and enlightening weekly show. Hopefully, I'm speaking on behalf of the voices being silenced by the media. This is the most critical election in our nation's history. It's vital that Donald J. Trump be reelected for another term to continue to rebuild the U.S. to where it once was. In my opinion, Joe Biden isn't running for president. He's running to obtain the position so that Democrats can put in place their choice to continue dismantling the country. Kamala Harris, the most liberal senator in our U.S. Congress.
Well, thank you. You must work for the RNC. I think you must. This is an incredibly important election, and all joking aside, the reason it really is important is not because of the people running or the personalities they possess. It's because of the policies that each side is presenting. And frankly, maybe you are on the other side, not you, the person who just sent the note, but there are people clearly who believe in a lot of things that would be different from me. But that's what America's all about. You get to vote. But if you do believe that every life matters and that includes those children in the womb, and you are a person who, like me, believes in the sanctity of life, you've only got one choice this time. It's not muddled. It's very clear. If you believe you need more government and higher taxes, or if you believe we ought to have open borders rather than secured borders, if you believe we ought to surrender to China or push back on China, there's a host of things. And that's what you're really voting on. And I hope you will vote. And I hope that maybe your vote gets counted sometime before January. That's the other thing we have to worry about. What else we got, Keith?
Well, Ben from Virginia, New Age leader Marianne Williamson is speaking at the upcoming People's Convention along with Dr. Cornel West as attendees consider forming a third party. Williamson said this week's Democrat convention offered no actual policy on how to end systemic racism and no actual policy on providing universal health care, but lots of pretty pictures. I know it's tough for you as a GOP member to comment, but are they better off birthing a new party than sticking with the old?
Well, it is a very valid question because, a lot of times Republicans say maybe we ought to have a third party. Here's the problem. Unless you've got a boatload of money, in fact, a fleet of boats filled with money, it'll never really work well. And the reason is not because the ideas won't sell, but each of the parties have developed over the course of decades a very thorough infrastructure that make it possible for them to reach voters. It's not just databases, it's headquarters, it's volunteers, it's all of the infrastructure, and it takes years and it takes millions and millions of dollars to put that together. Anytime a third-party candidate enters the race, regardless of how effective, whether it's even a Ross Perot who got 17% of the vote in 1992, most independents get 6 or 7%, and often what it does, it takes just enough of the votes away from the person who would be your second choice to elect the person who is not your choice at all. So if Marianne Williamson and other Democrats want to do that, I'd say you should. You ought to do that. Go ahead, for heaven's sakes. Get you a third and a fourth party. We'd love it. Okay, Keith, what else you got?
Well, Beverly in Halethorpe, Maryland. I watched a speech by Kamala Harris in which she made several promises of things she planned to do should she and candidate Biden win. She said if it couldn't be accomplished through Congress, she would invoke executive orders to get them done. Now, my question is, does the vice president have the authority to invoke executive orders? Thank you.
Actually, it's a little worse than that. Even the president can't just enact executive orders unless they're within the confines of legislated law. Presidents aren't kings. I don't care what party they're from. And there are certain things they can do by executive order. Most of it is temporary, and most of it has to be done because of an emergency. But they cannot replace the legislative process just because they don't want to go through what is sometimes a laborious process. When I was governor, trust me, I would have loved to have bypassed the legislature and ignored them and just did what I wanted. But there was a little impediment to that. It was called the Constitution. And I did swear to uphold it, and that's why I just couldn't do it. All right, Keith?
Well, Christine, the Florida reporter, I'm a trained journalist, and I want to thank Governor Huckabee for his August 9th comments on the death of journalism. I so appreciate him letting people know about mainstream media bias. Thankfully, some of us still present the truth, but we are few and far between, it seems.
No kidding. There's nothing that is more disturbing to me than the fact that journalism is essentially a dead art in America. There are very few journalists anymore, mostly advocates, political hacks, people with a point of view. Those are editorialists and commentators. They're not journalists. Look, I want to be very clear. I talk on television, this show on TBN. I'm a Fox News contributor. I do a daily newsletter twice a day. It's commentary. It may deliver some news, but it is commentary, and I don't pretend that it isn't. I don't pretend I'm a journalist, and I don't play one on TV. But there are a lot of people who are pretending to be journalists, and they're not. Let me tell you how you know. If when a journalist reports a story, and you know what the point of view the journalist has, that person isn't a journalist, they're an editorialist. I've often talked about a reporter in Arkansas that covered me for many years, probably wrote thousands of inches of news copy about me. And to this day, I can't tell you whether he liked me or not. I have no idea whether he ever voted for me or against me. He wrote lots of stuff. Some of it was good, some of it I didn't like, but I deserved it because maybe I'd said or done something that even I wasn't all that proud of either. The fact that I couldn't tell you to this day his opinion of me tells me he's a great reporter and a true journalist. That's how you know whether somebody is in the news business or just in the commentary business. Keith, we got any more?
Got one more. Peter in Wallington, New Jersey. Dear Mike, I voted for you in 2016 in the primaries, not Donald Trump. I'm a born-again Christian and a USPS letter carrier for 34 years now. Right now, it looks like my livelihood might be destroyed because the USPS has become a political football. Does the president have any clue what the destruction of service and livelihoods means? Or is he completely out to destroy it?
Well, truth is, he's made it very clear. He doesn't want to destroy the Postal Service. He's never said that. He's never done anything to that. It's been amazing that some of the folks on the Democratic Party side have actually said that the president went out and took mailboxes away. The truth is 14,000 mail deposit boxes were taken away under President Obama as part of a reorganization. If you think the president actually has time to drive around the country and load up mailboxes in the back of a pickup, you may not understand what his job is all about. The truth is we all appreciate the Postal Service and the people who work there and work hard. So thank you for working there. Nobody's trying to end the Postal Service or take somebody's job. But here's what the president is concerned about, and I must tell you, I'm concerned too. Yes. If you mail 161 million ballots to people who didn't ask for one, it means that everybody who gets maybe has an address is going to get a ballot. Now think about that for a minute. How many pieces of mail do you get that is for somebody that doesn't live at your address anymore? Somebody that maybe it's misboxed. It's not the post office's fault. They're delivering it according to where it says. But if you mail 161 million ballots to everybody who has an address, that's going to mean a lot of dead people will be getting ballots. Who will be voting for them? How many people will vote by mail and then turn around and walk down to the polling place and vote yet again? It's ripe for every kind of corruption. Look, we all believe in absentee voting. That's where you say, I can't be at the election polling place. I don't want to be there because of COVID. That's fine. Ask for a ballot, you'll get one, and you can mail that in. That's totally different, and everyone, including President Trump, supports that. But what many of us are concerned about is randomly sending every single address in the country a ballot. That is ripe for a mess. Now, if you're seeing this, I know you've enjoyed that video. I mean, how could you not, after all? So you know what you should do? Leave a like, click on the subscribe button below, and hit the notification bell next to it so you'll always know when I have another video up for you to enjoy.